Good morning, boys and girls, moms and dads, everybody in Viewerland. Welcome to another Generator Monday. I saw on the internet and on Facebook that a lot of people are having some problems with their generators sometimes, especially now that they're trying to prepare for the hurricanes in Florida and along the Gulf Coast there in Texas. And a lot of people put gasoline in their generator, run it for the first time, and then they put it in the garage and forget it or store it full. And then when they have an emergency, they go to start it and it won't run and they blame the generator. Well, it's really not the mechanical generator's fault, it's your fault for not taking care of it. So you can't just put gasoline in them and run them and then store them and forget them. I run mine every Monday. You should run it at least twice a month every 2 weeks. And I put a quart of fuel into my generator with the petcock on, and I run it dry. Then I shut the petcock off and I start it a couple more times on full choke to let it stutter and sputter and drain my carburetor good. The other thing you want to do is you want to not run that ethanol fuel in here, that 10% ethanol or 20% or whatever that junk is. Don't run it. Only run premium, non-ethanol fuel. And I rotate my gasoline out at the house here, or in the garage. I have 4 or 5 gallon cans, and when the vehicles need the fuel, I put that into them because it's not too old, it's a week or two old, and then I get new fresh fuel. So I do that all the time. So you can rotate your fuel without using stable, and you don't have to put it in your machines either that way. So I run fresh gasoline through it every week and I let it run. So we're going to go ahead and start it now. So I turn on my battery power. This one also has a pull start, so I'm good that way too. So if it didn't start in an emergency for me with the battery, I can always pull start it. But you just put the choke on full. And it starts up like a champ because I run it every week. I have it on a slight angle, as you know. I put it on a 2x6. When I run it for an emergency, no, I don't do that. When I'm going to run it out of fuel, I put it on that 2x6 to let it run out. Now you'll notice we have a different kind of plug-in this week, and that goes into the 220, 120 outlet, the fourth front outlet. And if you were to run this into your house, you don't want to run extension cords longer than you have to. You want to figure out what you need and get it before the emergency. So don't ever run a generator by an open window or door. Aim the exhaust away from the house, and then you're going to run your cord through a window if you don't have a transfer switch. Now, an extension cord going through your house, it's important that we don't walk on it and step on it. So you don't want to walk and step on cords. You don't want them underneath any rugs or anything, because these heat up. It's electric. So if you step on it over and over, you're going to possibly fracture the wires and cause a short circuit in the cord. So don't walk on cords, and don't pinch them in windows or doors, and don't put them underneath rugs or anything like that. So now that we've had our generator run for a little bit, we know that it's going to be warmed up, and we can go ahead and plug it in for an appliance. So each side of that 220 or 240, one side is here for the 220 and the other side is here for a 220. So you have the 4 outlets that you can run. So figure out what you want to run, and that's the other thing with extension cords. You want to make sure that you're not running cheap, thin lamp extension cords in your house for an appliance. You only want to run a 14 or a 12 gauge. 12 gauge would be better because that'd be for a 20 amp circuit. But we can plug this in and then exercises like if your refrigerator starting and stopping, or some home starting and stopping, and then run it with a load on it. So I can run this into my home, and then I can run my extension cords off of it. And like I said, don't want to have a 100-foot extension cord for a 15-foot run. So you would buy a 15 or a 20-foot extension cord for that refrigerator. Then your next appliance, figure out how long of a cord you need and buy the cord. You don't want miles of cord, and you don't want to be walking on these or printing them, like I said, or pinching in any way. But by running this one cord into your house, you got the 4 cords right there, the 4 cords you can plug into those 4 outlets. So that'll be good. But that's the setup today for this. So we're going to let it stutter and sputter. And remember, you always want a working smoke alarm. You always want a working smoke alarms in your house and a CO monitor. You always want a CO monitor because those produce CO and you could hurt or kill people with that. So don't do that. Today you'll notice we got the windows closed. Last week we had them open for the 5-minute run. And the child bride was smart and closed the windows as I walked away that day. So she heard it in the house and she already knew from our lessons here that you have the exhaust. So she already knew to close the windows. So this is my plan B, my first line of defense in the event of a power failure. You'll notice that we have a green light on. So that's the last time it ran. Everything checked out and everything was good. So it's a green light. When it produces power, it's flashing green. When it's a pre-programmed maintenance, it's lit up yellow. And when it fails for some unknown reason, it will light up red. And you'll have to figure out why that is. But my 24K runs on natural gas, so that's good. Some run on propane. The propane ones do get a little bit better rating on the 24K. Like with the natural gas, I'm probably at 21K. Gasoline burns more efficiently, so that's why when you look at your portable generators, the different ratings, gasoline burns more efficient, so you get more power out of it. Propane is the second, and then natural gas is the least efficient. So you'll get reduced power on that. So if you have propane like Don Johnson in Tennessee on his 24 kW, he's getting the 24 kW out of it with the propane. So that's good. So we understand that. We understand we have to have CO detectors, smoke alarms, and the Generac was run a little while ago. We haven't had a storm since or any outages. So if we're supposed to get storms tonight. If we don't have an outage, maybe this week I'll go ahead and I'll go over to the transfer switch and I'll let it produce power for an hour or so. But it's good to do every quarter, every 3 months. If you don't have any power failures, go ahead and transfer switch to simulate a power failure and let it produce power for an hour and let it just run your house normal. So that's a good thing to do too. But we have our plan B here, our plan C there, and this thing ought to be starting up anytime soon. The other thing that I did notice, some people when they install gas lines, they don't put a drip leg on their systems. Now inside the Generac, it supposedly has that, but I didn't want to gamble on it, and I put a drip leg on there. It's easy to do. I just busted off the 90. I put a T in there and a cap and a little drip leg, so it'll catch any of the debris in there, so it won't go into the generator. So that's my first line of defense on my gas system to stop it from going in there. And then the Generac has one inside of it too that does it, but I put that on just to play it safe. So this thing ought to be starting any second. So let's have a moment of silence for the people that don't have generators and sit in the dark and listen to their food spoil like we know that they do. So I've been there, done that, and it's not good. I threw out $800 worth of food the first time, then probably $800 the second time 2 weeks later, and then I became a believer in generators. So we all start somewhere. Moment of silence for those people now that sit in the dark. Alright, well we're back. This isn't like the Child's Bride's quick video where she came out and the thing started in 15 seconds.
Good.
Okay, so we're gonna stand by and wait for the 0800. This thing starts at 0800 every Monday. That's what I have it programmed to do every week. Some of them are bi-weekly, and I set this one up to run every week. You check the oil, check your air filter, like we've done in the other previous videos. You know, do a little maintenance yourself. I know it's great to have the dealer maintain it for the warranty and stuff, but sometimes we got to step up and take care of our own stuff too. So check your oil. I have the new Generac mobile link app on my phone, and that's a handy thing. It sends you signals and lets you know what's going on, tells you it's testing, tells you whatever your issues are. So that's the other advantage to the Generac, and we love it. So it should be starting, hopefully. We keep saying that. But it's not the generator that we're waiting on, it's the time. That's what it does. 8 o'clock is what I have it. And actually, if you look at the app, it's not 8 o'clock. It starts at 0859 seconds. So it's really just before 8:01 is when it starts. So there we go. So she fired up. So make sure that you just don't take your generators and put them in a place where they can't perform for you. You know, you stick it in a closet and you forget it. Run it at least once, twice a month, or like I do every week, just because it's fun. Exercise your stuff, take care of it, and it'll be there when you need it, hopefully. Then you just really increase the odds of everything running for you. So take care of your stuff, take care of yourself, have a good day, and be safe out there. Prepare. Bye, everybody.